Good evening once again, everybody. It's Lunbox with yet another Cobra Strike video for you, based upon requests from people on the Discord, as well as some critiques that I received on my Reddit post. I wanted to showcase to you today how this build can do with reasonable expectations of day one getting to chaos and some things you can expect to have. The most expensive item I'm going to showcase to you today will probably be a Bartux, which you can get for pretty cheap. My Merc will have a Pus Spitter, which is probably the other expensive item. She is still wearing mostly all the same gear that she had on the other videos, but because I'm not having things like CTA and I'm not clearing nearly as fast, she dies from time to time in Chaos because that's just the way Chaos is. But this is something you can expect to see. As a fledgling martial arts Cobra Strike assassin, were you to transition into this very early on in hell difficulty clearing chaos. So, first thing of note, we are level 92, which is a little higher than you would be, obviously. I did make the mistake of allocating all of my skills, so you would expect to have less HP or less dexterity, whichever one you would choose, but you're going to have enough strength for your gear. As you can see right now, things have definitely changed. Our resists are quite a bit lower, and that's okay because we have plenty of attack speed from the items we're wearing, and we're going to have our resist at or near cap from Fade. I was going to say Cloak of Shadows, and that's not the case. But advanced stats, as you can see, there's our resists. We have no damage reduction outside of what is inherent in Fade when we use it. We have 50 hit recovery, 47 run walk, 40 block rate, 65 increased attack speed, but again, we don't need that much. 48 faster hit recovery, 97 MF. Gear. Okay, so here's where all the big changes is. These are things you can reasonably expect to have on a budget just starting out in Season 5. Okay, first, just to clear it up, no, we're not going to use this at all. So let me take these out. We're not going to have a CTA and we're not going to have a lidless. Even though lidless is very common, we're not going to use those. Okay, so Bartux with a shale. I put one shale in it because you can use your quest in order to put a socket into this, and I find the shale to be useful if you do not have other things. However, the chest piece that I put in negates the need for this shale. This was just something that I had in it, and I threw it on and felt it was fine to keep in there. Ideally, for your Bartux, if you're a poison build, you're going to want things like poison facet, but when you're first starting out, you're not going to have those. So if you have an ED jewel, you can put in there, and that will work as well. Next, lore helm. Everyone should have a lore helm. I don't think I'll get any complaints about showing a lore helm, alright? Why are we using this? Plus skills and lightning resist. Also, the mana after each kill is nice because Cobra Strike is really cheap. Next is treachery. Most expensive thing on here is a Lemrune. Gives us 45 increased attack speed and 2 to assassin skills. The cold res is nice and the faster hit recovery is really nice. This is a great chest that should probably last you a very, very long time. You could realistically wear this until you get a bramble. However, another option that was brought to my attention for the hardcore players is going for stone. Stone is a fantastic defensive option that you should definitely not sleep on if you want a more defensive playstyle. Next, we have a Rhyme. This is our source of Cannot Be Frozen. It gives us 40 faster block rate. We have more regenerating mana, all res 25, and we even get a little bit of magic prime from this. Again, this is something everyone can get even before they get to hell. This is a fantastic shield. I would recommend. Next, we have Venom Grips. You can swap these out for Train Gloves, whichever one you get first, but these are never expensive, neither are Train Gloves. So you can wear these. These are actually better for you than Train Gloves because they have the chance of crushing blow, and they have the leech. So these are pretty dang good, and they also provide some very much needed poison resistance. Alright, for our belt, we're using an Immortal King's Detail. They're very, very common, very cheap. You could probably get one for a Worldstone Shard on day one. These just give us some strength, and they fill up some resists that we need. For our boots, Nat Soul Mesh boots, faster run walk, and resists. That's what we want from here. Alright, now here's the big changes. We're not using a Carrion Wind, and we're not using a Wisp Projector. We're using a Rare Ring with Life Leech. So Life Leech all res is what we want. This one actually rolled really good, and I literally just spawned this, and this is what I got. You can't choose what you get, right? You just get a random ring, identify it, and that's what you get. This is what I got. 5 Life Leech, All res with a focus on cold and fire, which is pretty good. I would have preferred lightning and fire, but that's okay. Next one, life leech, stats, cold res, lightning res. These are good rings. And then our amulet is a +2 to assassin skills with cold res and MF. All right. Charm wise, we have 2 skillers and a Geeds, because everyone's gonna have a Geeds, right? So 2 skillers, which is somewhere. Oh, I have 2 Geeds. My bad. We'll get rid of that. Here's Geeds, a skiller, and then everything else is pretty junk. Legit, all I did was spawn blue quality charms. I identified them and I didn't change them out. So what I got in here is literally pure RNG. Fire res, MF, poison damage over 2, life, poison damage, dex, poison damage, maximum damage, dex, life, elemental damage, dex, life mana. None of these are good. So max life, damage and stamina, gold, you know. So only 1 skiller, all right? So now we're going to go to our skills. We have +10 to skills, +10 to our primary damage skill. So our spec is maxing out Cobra Strike, going all the way down to Dragonflight, 1-point wonder. Coming over here, maxing out Venom, and then maxing out Shadow Master, which I keep forgetting to use, so we're going to make sure we use it for this video, okay? Extra points we put into Claw and Dagger Mastery to help us with our attack rating. Finally, into traps, we just went down 1-point wonders into Blade Shield. Alright, so this is pretty budget. This is very, very cheap. So we're going to buff up. We're going to use Cloak of Shadow, or I'm sorry, Fade, which puts our resists here. Okay, so 70, 122, 106, and 42 helps us with our curse res. Next, we're going to cast Venom, Shield, and bring our helper in here, okay? Again, no CTA, so you can die with this setup. You can absolutely die with this setup, but you know, I think it'll do okay. Oh, one thing I want to point out is I'm leaving 23 skills on the table just to simulate being a lower level, alright? So, here we go. Here we go, here we go, and that should be it. Let's see how it feels. Again, remember, these guys are always very highly resistant to everything, so they take a while to die. And we will be picking up potions as we go to simulate what it's like to be day 1. Trying to get this video done as fast as possible. What? No, I hate my life. I hate my life. Why did this just happen? No. Oh no. That's it. Cut the video. I don't want to do this anymore. Oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Oh no. Somebody send a doctor. I'm dying. Oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. I'm so booty blasted right now. Okay, one thing I want to point out is I'm not max block. Okay, I did not pump dex, so I'm not max block. So I have to play far more cautious. But as you can see, we're doing fairly well. Things can be dangerous. Plus, spitters aren't terribly expensive, although they might be this coming season. They might. So we have to keep an eye on that. The key items to watch for early progression are Carrion Wind and Pus Spitter, 100%. Those are the things we want to watch. Man, I cannot believe I just got an Unearthed Wand, a Death's Web. I need this. I need that item for my Grail and D2R. It's one of the few items I still need. Oh, man, how brutal. How absolutely brutal. Let's go ahead and pop this up. Alright. So again, this isn't the fastest at this level, right? And I want to point out something. The last videos, I received a comment that I wasn't clearing very fast with all the gear I had. That is partially because I'm not good at poison builds, and I always stick around to see the mob die. That's a problem I've had even in Path of Exile. It's just something I have to get used to. Having faith that the mob will die is something, and in running on is just something I need to do. You see me do better in the map video, but in the very first video, I definitely could have been faster. And that's a playstyle thing. That's not anything I did wrong. So this is a pretty mean pack. But you just hit and run a little bit, restock your potions, you'll be alright. I'm crying on the inside, by the way. I just want you guys to know I'm crying on the inside. That is the first Death's Web I have ever seen drop across any iteration of Diablo 2 ever. And it was on a freaking beta server. So, when you're this low geared, Desace is very, 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 very dangerous. So we need to take advantage of things properly. Alright, there we go. We used our summon to make that a lot easier. I could be definitely using Dragonflight a little more offensively, but the latency, even though it's only saying 94, doesn't feel the best right now. So things I'm hitting are not proccing, are not going off. That's okay. As you can see though, the build's doing fine. If you're day 1 in D2R Season 5, this is pretty good. This is only plus 10 skill points. This is doable. And before anyone says anything and they say, oh, but you're using a Bard Tux. Okay. Use a Blue Claw with plus skills. Use a Blue Claw with plus skills and throw some sockets in it, or corrupt it, or craft a claw, and you'll be alright. You'll be just fine. Because at this low level of gear, what you want is plus skills. That's the key. Okay? So you have a lot of options. This build is totally viable. This is going to be a little scary because I'm still cursed. So we just got to watch our life. And the damage against the bosses is still very, very strong. Look at that. Okay, so there we go. We did a successful chaos clear with super budget, absolutely trash charms. Didn't die once. I mean, these are all things you can expect to have on day 1, with the exception of possibly Bartux, and that would just be because of supply. People wind up throwing these things away later on. Okay, this one's upped. You can do that on day 1. You can just spend the runes on it. It's not too bad. Nat's Boots, Lore Helm, Treachery Chest, Rhyme. These are all things you can get while pushing the campaign. Not a big deal. Don't discount good, fun builds just because there's one that's super, super GG, okay? You're not going to not drive your frickin' Prius because somebody somewhere has a Lamborghini, which is basically the argument I received from a lot of people, which strikes me as very dumb, because if that's the case, if you can't spawn a 75 FCR Poison Nova Necro with a Death's Web on day 1, then why play any build ever? The logic is stupid. I made these videos to show people an underappreciated build because maybe some people are tired of playing Sorceress, some people are tired of playing Paladin, and at this point in PD2, some people are probably tired of playing Necro. Alright? So, that's all I got for you. This is probably the last video I'm going to make in the Cobra Strike Sin beta showcase, because the beta closes down in about less than an hour from what I understand. If I get the chance, I will do a dual Plague Claw setup that I want to showcase because it felt really good. Definitely squishier, but it felt really good, and I tested it last night. So hopefully look forward to that. If I can't get it done tonight, I will get it done either in the open beta or on live, because that's going to be the goal. I'm going to be season starting with this. Hopefully I'll see you there. Follow me at Lunbox, or twitch.tv/Lunbox. That's Lunbox with a Z at the end. And follow along if you want to run maps together. I love running maps and sharing gear with people. Till then, I will see you all later. Peace.